Dag, we got some people in the chat accidentally got scammed out of some money from Black Lives Matter.
Hey, listen, sometimes, you know.
Sometimes you fall for the...
Sometimes you take an L.
Sometimes you fall for the Nigerian prince email.
Ruslan.
The biggest PSYOP on social media right now to manipulate Christians everywhere. Okay.
Number one PSYOP getting run on Christians right now is called choice architecture. Okay, choice architecture is when somebody manipulates the options presented to you to force you to their desired outcome without you noticing. So for instance,
this happened to me today.
Example.
This isn't from the left or the world. This is actually on a fundy did this because I'm appearing at the event at Preston Sprinkle's Exiles in Babylon, and Tim from the New Evangelicals, who has some really heterodox views, is appearing. They cornered me and said, Preston's either platforming a false teacher or he's going to call him on stage and say he's a false teacher and rebuke him publicly in front of everybody. Those were the only two options in that scenario. It's like, or he's there to do a panel on folks who've deconstructed, and he's the one person in the entire conference that's affirming, and therefore we are going to hear his perspective of what happened, how he deconstructed, and there's a panel there, and I'm not on that panel. He's not giving a keynote, and his views affirming isn't being platformed and celebrated. Chris rightfully pointed out that when Cameron from Capturing Christianity had his conference, he had Alex O'Connor at his conference, right? And so it's like, we're not all becoming atheists because Alex O'Connor is at Capturing Christianity's conference. Yeah. At the same time, we're also not all going to call him on stage and tell him to rebuke and place his faith in Jesus right now or he's going to hell, right? You could actually have meaningful dialogue with people you disagree with, right?
Wow.
And so this happens everywhere. It happens on the left and the right. Josh pointing out specifically how it happens primarily on the left. Go ahead.
have you ever had somebody say something like this? Hey, are you pro-choice or are you against women's rights?
Are you pro-choice or do you just want the patriarchy to win?
I'm against women's rights.
You just want the patriarchy to win. You just want women to be taken back 1,000 years in the progress that we made. Even changing words, reproductive health care.
Yeah,
right?
health care. Like, what are you talking about?
Reproductive health care.
Yeah.
Like, that's just yuck. So yeah, I think this is, especially after Roe v. Wade, this is so profound and so common the way this stuff is framed.
Or let's say something like this. Are you affirming or do you practice hate?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Practice hate.
Practice hate. So if I don't affirm everything about someone, I then therefore hate that person. That's a crazy false binary. And this is going to get us into the next topic, which is going to be this J. Cole topic. So those of you guys that pulled up to the J. Cole topic, you guys will see how this is done there and the way this is positioned in terms of what J. Cole actually said in a rap song.
Yeah.
In a rap song, and how this is being framed in the media as this is the worst thing he's ever done.
In 2020, it sounded like this. So do you support the organization Black Lives Matter or are you complicit in white supremacy?
He's cooking.
To be fair on this one, I know a lot of people that affirm the sentiment and all completely rejected the organization very early on. I don't know, and it's all hit me when I had a conversation with Sho Baraka in 2015, and he was like, "Nope, organization bad." And then they started their own campaign called like the AND campaign, which some people would still say like they're a little too wokey or whatever. But I don't know anyone that actually supported that organization and gave money to that organization. I don't know a single person. I don't know if you do. Maybe some of you have some pretty out there friends.
I knew somebody, yeah, for sure.
That gave money to the organization.
Most likely, yeah, 100%. At that time, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that gave money to that organization.
This person's not Christian, and they worship crystals and play with little tarot cards. So there's not like a lot of critical thinking involved.
Yeah, because I think anyone who read their charter and what they were about, disruption of the nuclear family, and then they immediately took that down as they got more attention. And then they got like $100 million in funds and then like squandered all of it. And then Candace Owens and rare Candace Owens forums made that banging documentary about them.
Dag, we got some people in the chat that accidentally got scammed out of some money from Black Lives Matter.
Hey, listen, sometimes, you know.
Sometimes you fall for the...
Sometimes you take an L.
Sometimes you fall for the Nigerian prince email.
You just compared Black Lives Matter, the organization, to the Nigerian. Yo, that's wild. That's funny.
Amazing.
We'll send you back the money. I need you to send me this money, and we'll send you back.
You'll see it back in reparations.
That's crazy. I don't know what they were about. I was just sad for the death. Yeah, I hear you. I understand.
That's what I mean. That's the email. That's the scam.
Yeah, I'm saying there was other organizations that were, I think, doing good work. Christian organizations that were attempting to do good work. Or like A Can't Wait, I thought was a fair organization. They were talking about the 8 things they were trying to get passed with legislatively, not Marxism, not disrupting the nuclear family, to move the needle on police misconduct. I think we all should be against police misconduct. Yeah. Situation in Florida where the guy heard an acorn drop on the roof and then shot up his own car, his own police car.
He thought he was shot.
Yeah, because he thought he was shot. Can you look up if that dude was ever, he was let go, but he was never charged with anything, right? Was he even fired? I don't even think that dude was fired. That's the kind of stuff that like we should all be like, nah, that's bad. You know? He resigned. So this guy, you guys hear about the story? We covered it. Officer confuses a falling acorn for gunshots. So basically he's walking past. He hears an acorn. He thinks it's a gunshot. You can't hear this acorn on the footage. I'm not going to go over the footage. And then he shoots at his own car with someone that's handcuffed in the back seat and almost kills them.
The local prosecutor declined to file charges.
This is the kind of stuff that like we should all be against. Like this person should have been fired, and there should have been some, in my opinion, some sort of legal ramifications. Maybe not attempted murder or anything crazy.
No,
right?
but you can get like negligent discharge of a firearm.
Something. He should be charged with something. Yeah. So this is the kind of stuff when people go, hey, some police officers be out of control and aren't held accountable.
Yep.
Right? And that doesn't just negatively impact black people or poor people. That can impact anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
Of any persuasion. That's the kind of stuff where I think there was some merit to what the sentiment was around 2020. Right? This hopefully now we could all agree is the most egregious example of a situation like this, that this officer was not held accountable.
Yeah.
Not held accountable. Everybody, conservative, Republican, black, white, rich, poor, we should all be against this. We should be like, that is evil, that is bad, he should have been held accountable.
These are manipulative false binaries that are intentionally crafted to force you to somebody else's desired outcome. So what I mean is, somebody can oppose abortion and be for women's rights. It is not practicing hate to believe in God's definition of marriage. Amen. You can oppose the organization Black Lives Matter and oppose racism. Now, when you notice somebody presenting you with manipulative categories, you just need to say, I reject your categories. Because if you accept the world's categories, you will always come to the world's conclusions.
That's fire.
Shout out to Josh Howardson. We're going to try to get him on the channel, by the way. He's been... He has some pretty good takes online, and then sometimes somebody will come after him and they'll like take one of his sermons and do something controversy about that. They did a podcast on him. I think he has some W takes. Yeah, so I think the tail sign is when you're backed into a corner with a false binary. That's the tail sign. And so that happens a lot. That happens a lot, unfortunately. And to his point, when you are relinquished to those categories, you end up having to take one of those perspectives, right? Because you're either a bigot or you are affirming.
Yeah.
Those are your only 2 options. And it's like, no, I think there's multiple third options in this situation. According to the Bible, that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. 1, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask him to move on my behalf. And 2, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when he answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used from my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.